This video contains spoilers for The Bad Batch. If you don't want to be spoiled, I advise that you turn away now. Otherwise, please enjoy.
I have been every voice.
You are the chosen one! Anakin! Anakin!
This is where the fun begins.
Inside your head.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about Star Wars The Bad Batch, some really important leaks, The Mandalorian Season 3 and more. As always my Megalorians, before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new content. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's just dive straight into it. So what a hectic 24 hours it's been for Star Wars news. We have a lot to get through guys, and it's predominantly concerning The Bad Batch, so let's go. Lego Fulcrum, a very reputable source when it comes to all things Lego Star Wars, have announced an upcoming set. Now this Lego set is actually for a Bad Batch shuttle, and the details of the set seemingly confirm that Crosshair is going to betray the squad. So if you're not familiar, in the trailer of The Bad Batch, we don't see Crosshair for the majority of it. Many fans have hypothesized that Crosshair actually abandons Clone Force 99 and joins the Empire. This leak seems to suggest just that, so let's take a look at the details of this upcoming Lego set. First of all, it's a lime green speeder, there are helmets, only tech has a new mold, and this is the big one, Crosshair is included in an Imperial suit. Other details include that two guys have hair, a gonk droid is in the set apparently, the shuttle is sand blue with red stickers, there are spring-loaded missiles and a whole bunch of other information. But the big news here is the fact that Crosshair is included in an Imperial suit, which could suggest that he is indeed going to betray the Bad Batch. To some, this is no surprise, and ever since we first saw the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars Season 7, a lot of fans have had a very bad feeling about Crosshair. We just have to wait and see how the events of the Bad Batch are going to play out, but it doesn't seem like he's going to remain with the team for much longer. As a lot of people point out, an important thing to note is that the Lego Fulcrum is indeed a reliable source, especially when it comes to the Lego Star Wars community. Now my friends, that's not the only piece of Bad Batch news that we have, because apparently Kanan Jarrus is going to appear in the Bad Batch. That's right guys, according to a new rumour, we are going to see Depa Biloba's padawan and the Star Wars Rebels fan favourite. So let's see what this article has to say. It appears that Star Wars The Bad Batch will not only opt to tell an original story set after the fall of the Galactic Republic, but also bring back a host of familiar faces from the Clone Wars and beyond. Up until now, we've learned that Captain Rex will return following his rough encounter with the 501st last year. In addition to that, Dave Filoni has resurrected Grand Moff Tarkin, one of the Emperor's most trusted governors, for this outing. We also can expect the return of Fennec Shand, and considering the executive producer's track record, we can bet that there's going to be a ton of surprises in the Bad Batch. Some people seem to think that Grogu is going to appear, and recent rumours seem to suggest this. But now sources close to WGTC, the same ones who said that Luke and Ahsoka would appear in The Mandalorian, are stating that Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels has a big role in the story of Clone Force 99. Though since the narrative takes place before the events of Star Wars Rebels, it's pretty safe to presume that the character is just a padawan at this point in the timeline who escapes the onslaught of the Jedi Order. As for how Kanan's story brings him into contact with the Commando unit, we don't know yet, and we're just gonna have to wait till May the 4th. Now May the 4th is just under 2 weeks away, and so a lot of questions are going to be answered really soon. But what do you guys make of this? Do you think this rumour is substanceless, or would you like to see a young Kanan Jarrus in this show? Over the years since Star Wars Rebels ended, a lot of people have wanted to see more backstory to the character, and just more insight into his younger years as a padawan. Now I haven't shared this before, but Kanan Jarrus is a very special character to me. I was at university actually when I first saw Rebels, and I'll never forget that opening episode on Lothal and the chase with Ezra Bridger and Zeb. I instantly connected with him and honestly thought that he was such a well-written character. And then of course in the second part of that opening episode, when he gives Ezra the choice to learn the ways of the Force or keep his lightsaber as a mere souvenir, it really gave me chills. I think for me that was the moment I really fell in love with Rebels, and as a lot of you know, apart from the Clone Wars Season 7, which was phenomenal, I very much prefer Rebels to the Clone Wars more broadly. really. I just find that it's more mature and is probably some of Dave Filoni's best work outside of Mando. It's also why I'm so excited for Rangers of the New Republic, because we get to see Hera Syndulla again. We're going to see her son Jason, hopefully Chopper, and of course Ezra Bridger. Now I know the timeline doesn't work very well for upcoming shows, but I'd somehow love to see Kanan Jarrus in live action at some point. Getting him in the Bad Batch is more than I could ask for, but as a Star Wars fan, that's a big one on my wish list. But what do you guys think? Do you like the character of Kanan Jarrus? Are you excited to potentially see him as a padawan in the Bad Batch, or do you think he should stay in Rebels? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now my friends, we're going to move on to talk about the Mandalorian Season 3 / the Book of Boba Fett, because there's been a leak, or a rumour if you want to call it that, and it's from Bespin Bulletin, who states that we're going to see a Wookiee in the Mandalorian Season 3. Now Bespin Bulletin have predicted a lot of things that came true in The Rise of Skywalker and also in The Last Jedi, but now they're stating that Wookiees are something that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau want to explore in The Mandalorian Season 3. Now it's not certain if he's definitely talking about Mando or in the Book of Boba Fett, but it certainly seems like it's going to be something big for the upcoming Mandoverse. Now this leak may be vague, but it opens up a whole new set of possibilities for The Mandalorian. Who is this Wookiee, or these mysterious Wookiees that we're going to see? Are they just background characters, or are they going to be Chewbacca and other Wookiees that we actually know? As I say, with this kind of leak, the Wookiee could very well just be a character having a drink at a local cantina or wandering around a crowded marketplace, kind of like the Mon Calamari in episode 3 of The Mandalorian Season 2. While any glimpse of a Wookiee is exciting, this would be the worst case scenario for a Wookiee appearance in Season 3, because if we're going to see a Wookiee, it's best that they go all out and go big. But who knows, maybe this background Wookiee will be recognisable in some way as a fun Easter egg. Bear in mind, guys, that when we saw the Wookiees in Revenge of the Sith, a lot of them didn't have definitive endings. So this brings up the possibility of Din Djarin going to Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk as a planet is one of the most beautiful ones we've seen in live action, and the last time we saw it was in 2005 in episode 3. But with all of the amazing technology that we have these days, with the ILM stagecraft that they use for The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, this could be something absolutely stunning. Knowing the schemes that Din Djarin gets up to, he could absolutely make a stop at Kashyyyk to help the Wookiees there rebuild their society after the fall of the Empire. In fact, at the time The Mandalorian Season 3 is set within the canon timeline, Chewbacca is back on Kashyyyk with his family, just hanging out in his treehouse. Could this be an opportunity for us to see the domestic Chewie and his nuclear family before he reunites with Han Solo before the events of The Force Awakens? Technically, it wouldn't be the first time, but mentioning the Star Wars Holiday Special where Kashyyyk was first portrayed would be an awesome callback. Some people seem to think that the Wookiee is going to be a more ominous one, notably Black Chrysanthemum. If you're a Star Wars comics fan, you've definitely heard of this Wookiee. He's a Wookiee bounty hunter hired by Jabba the Hutt, who later joins up with Dr. Aphra. Black Chrysanthemum's appearance in The Mandalorian could serve a number of purposes. Firstly, it would be a major tie between the Star Wars TV and comics universe, but it could also tie into the Book of Boba Fett. As this Wookiee was working for Jabba the Hutt, he could make an appearance in the Book of Boba, as that series follows Boba in the wake of Jabba's criminal organization crumbling. Since the Book of Boba Fett is slated to come before The Mandalorian Season 3, we may be introduced to this Wookiee in December. But what do you guys make of all of this? Let me know your thoughts of today's news update in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell for notifications, and also guys, if you're feeling generous, please consider becoming a patron, where for just $2 or $10 a month, you get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to our first $50 patron, Maria Espino. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.